So welcome to Who's Cooking with Julie J. Travel. My name is Julie Johnston. I'll be your host today, and I'm the owner of Julie J. Travel, a luxury travel business. And I'm also a member of Virtuoso, and I work with wonderful travel partners, as you're going to meet one of our fabulous preferred travel partners today, Sandy Sal from Hills of Africa and her amazing team. I myself am located right here in Barnard, Vermont. So if anybody's local to that area, that's where I'm located. And I craft inspired experiences for active aging travelers, busy professionals, and groups seeking exhilarating vacations that envelop you in luxury. I also take my deep destination knowledge and my creative spark, and I also work with preferred suppliers that help me to make sure that we immerse you in the cultures and the landscapes that you're visiting. And we also make sure to sprinkle that vacation and experience with lots of VIP experiences along with relaxation mixed in. So today I want to introduce you to my amazing team that has helped me put this together. And later today, at the end, we're going to have an amazing giveaway. So stay tuned. That's going to be a surprise. We're going to have one lucky winner from a drawing. And we also have a special announcement today. We are going to, my husband, Eric Johnston, who's on here today, he and I are going to be hosting a small group October 31st to November 11th, 2022. So not this year, but next year. And people are already booking because we have all those people from 2020 that got moved to 2021 and pushed into 2022. So space is filling up. So it's going to be a small group of 12 people, including ourselves. And we're going to be going to Cape Town and Victoria Falls and on safari. And it's going to be amazing. And we're also going to have wonderful experiences. And one of those wonderful experiences will be with our guest chef today, Faruza Abrahams, and she will be having a cooking class and dining experience in her home. So those that will be coming with us on the trip will get to meet her in person and actually cook with her and have an amazing local cultural experience. So we're super excited and we'll go into more details. I want to start a little presentation here after I introduce everybody. So we have Sandy Sale from Hills of Africa. She waves to everybody there. She's got the little houses in the backdrop. And her amazing team today, we've got Amy Green and her daughter, Allison Green. And Amy is going to be working the chat box for me today. So if you have any questions that come up, feel free to put them in the chat box and she'll let us know and we'll get those questions answered for you. And we also have Dana Crone, which is also part of the Hills of Africa team. And again, we have our guest chef, Faruza Abrahams. And then we also have Pam McOney from Cape Fusion Tours. And she's right there as well. And she's local in South Africa today. And she does tours all around Cape Town area. So we'll get to hear and talk with her during the cooking experience. So I wanted to start us off first with just a little video to take us there and transport us to make us feel like we're right there. That's got me excited. I'm there.
Oh,
So
loved it.
That's very cool.
we're going to go to Firuza and Pam. They are live in Southern Africa there in Cape Town. So both unmute yourselves. You're both muted. And we'll get started.
I'm just going to introduce Pam and Firuza. Pam, I've worked with for about 16 or 17 years, maybe longer. She is the absolute best food and wine guide in Cape Town, as well as giving you the history of Cape Town and South Africa. And she is absolutely wonderful to be around. And next time you're in Cape Town, I can't wait for you to meet her. And we are absolutely delighted to have Firuza Abrahams here from Taste Malay. I have put my background, the boa cap houses, as my background, because this is where Firuza is joining us today. She is amazing at cooking demonstrations and has been teaching classes to people all over the world, sharing her deep love of Cape Malay cuisine. And I know we're all going to have a lot of fun today. So welcome, Firuza and Pam. Please, please unmute yourselves and let's talk. Let's have fun cooking today.
Right. Can you, yeah, I'm alive. Good. I'm going to start with a quick introduction, and then I'm going to slam off my computer because I'm actually coming to you from the workshop. And so I'll hand over to Firuza, and we're having a bit of an echo issue. So she will be next. So just to introduce myself very quickly, my name is Pam McConey. I've had a company called Cape Fusion Tours since 2003, and it revolves around my passion of loving the Cape, loving the history, but more than anything, loving the food, the people, the wine, and the culture. And that's what I want to share with you guys when you come. We definitely dig much, much deeper than most others. And the whole aim is for you to connect and to meet the locals, to understand. And it's really, really important when you come from the US, where there isn't as much huge diversity as here. It is an important aspect. South Africa is a very much a multicultural society. We have over 35 local languages. We have a huge number of different tribes. Each of them have different customs, traditions, and all the rest. But it's very important to understand we started with the Dutch people. The Dutch then brought slaves from all over the world, plus they were indigenous people. And that's what Firuza will explain to you as to the next step, as to who was cooking for those Dutch people. So here in the Boerkaap, as you look behind me, they have the backdrop of Table Mountain, the City Bowl, and Table Bay. And it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. So when you come with us, we'll explore Cape Town from all sides, from the people to the nature, to the Cape Point, and all the way through. And we're really looking forward to meeting you next year. And I'm going to hand you over to Firuza. It was just a quick intro. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, guys. I hope you can hear me. Thank you for that, Pamela. I really just wanted to echo what Pamela and Sandy and Julia said. It is my absolute pleasure to be here this evening and to cook with you. I'm super excited to share these recipes with you. And just with a show of hands, before I even get cracking, I just need to know, just in terms of planning, how many people are cooking this evening and how many people is actually just watching, because I just need to know how many people is following the recipe. So, okay, I've got one. How many people are there? I can't actually see because some screens are actually muted. Okay, but be that as it may, guys, thank you and welcome to my home. I'm Firuza, I'm your host from Taste Malay. I am extremely excited to cook with all of you this evening. And I thought I'd start you off just a little bit with a little bit more information about the area that I live in. What does it mean to actually be a Cape Malay? And what does it mean, and how and where did Cape Malay cuisine actually start? So the area that I live in, as Pamela said, is called Boerkaap. Boerkaap is home to descendants of the slaves that settled here more than 300 years ago. So slaves were brought here by the Dutch from Indonesia, Malaysia, all over Africa, Eastern, West Africa, Madagascar, Sri Lanka. And I think you can appreciate that when that many people live that closely together, that there will obviously be a fusion of the ingredients, a fusion of the recipes that they use, their cooking techniques, etc. And all of those flavors and that combination and that fusion of those cultures actually gave rise to what we know today as Cape Malay cuisine, which is why the flavors are so diverse. The flavors are really suited to a European palate almost, because remember what the female slaves did, they needed to adapt the recipes in the Dutch kitchen to suit their masters. And how did they do that? By adding fruits, by adding vinegar, by creating sweet and sour flavors as opposed to spicy and hot. That is more like Indian style curry. So Cape Malay is completely different. In actual fact, a 2 or a 5-year-old can actually eat Cape Malay cuisine. The dishes that we are preparing this evening is typically Cape Malay, but also for me, I love eating whole foods. I'm a big advocate for not just cooking Cape Malay, but trying to cook as healthy as possible. I call it an alternative Cape Malay. So we are cooking this evening a potato, a chickpea, cauliflower, and spinach curry. It sounds tricky, please. Julie's already done the dish. So it's really, and I'm gonna hold your hand through the process. For those of you that's just watching, that is fine. I will be, obviously we will share detailed recipes with you afterwards. And then the other item that I'm gonna do is a zucchini chili bite or tempura. And the reason why my food is a little bit different is a little bit about my history. So my journey in the kitchen started at a very young age. I was 9 years old when I started cooking with my grandmother in this kitchen. My grandmother and my great-grandmother, my grandpa were the ones that actually taught me to cook. And as a young child, I would be sitting the way I'm sitting here and my granny would tell me, oh, Feruza, pass me this and pass me that. And slowly but surely, pass me this, pass me that, became do this and do that. And by the time I finished school, I could cook everything that my grandmother could cook. And it's almost as if though she had the foresight to do that, because she, in my final year of high school, she had a severe stroke and she was bedridden. And I was all of a sudden a 17-year-old tasked with cooking the meals for the family. I absolutely enjoyed it. I loved it. And when I finished school, I also I studied travel and tourism, and I really wanted to travel and see the world. I then joined our national airline, and for 14 years, I traveled the world doing exactly what you guys are doing, seeking out food experiences, not online experiences, in-person experiences, because I really wanted to get to know cultures. I wanted to get to know different people from different countries, and the best way to actually do that is to engage in somebody's home, go into somebody's home, which I'm hoping you guys will do when you come here next year, or some of you will do when you come here next year, to actually come into somebody's home and learn about their culture. Heritage is really important, and this really helps me preserve my heritage and maintain and showcase my heritage to the rest of the world. The sweet and sour flavors that I spoke about, another reason why we have less spicy food is in the absence of refrigeration. The slaves had to be very innovative with preserving food and meat. And what they did, they used ingredients like, so commonly used ingredients in Cape Malay cooking would be tamarind, vinegar, apricot jam, spices like nutmeg, allspice, bay leaves, whole coriander. Those are usually ingredients used in making pickled beetroot, pickled bell peppers, etc. So yes, our flavors are sweet and sour, but our food, the recipes I'm teaching you today is very basic, but don't be fooled by the term basic. It's very flavorful. And I hope that you're going to enjoy that. We are going to start firstly. I'm also just mindful of the time. I don't want to rush anybody. We're going to start with the main dish, which would be the potato dish. The potato, cauliflower, chickpea, and spinach curry. Okay, I'm going to take you through the dish first, and then we'll get cooking. I'm also going to change the camera view. I'm going to change the camera view so that you can actually see the surface area that I'm working on. And then I also, whenever you feel like you're being left behind, please just raise your hand so that I can actually just stop and then allow you to catch up. I'm going to be like a little bit of a stuck record. I'm going to keep repeating myself over and over. And sometimes you're going to think, why am I speaking so slowly? But it's really so that the rest of the class can catch up, because I'm mindful of the fact that whilst I can whip up this meal in 5 minutes, not everybody else can do that. So we're going to take our time, relax, have fun. Don't stress if you've missed anything. We're going to share everything with you. It's going to be a breeze, and you're going to have an amazing lunch or dinner, no matter where you find yourself today. So, for the first part of the meal, I'm going to change my camera view, guys. So you won't be seeing me. You won't be seeing me again until we are done cooking. I'm going to change the camera view like this. I'm going to change the camera view. There we go. So this is the ingredients that we need for the first part of the dish. I want you to have a close look. I've got cauliflower, chickpeas, spinach, onion, garlic and ginger, the spices, and very important, potato. So you can see what I've done. I've cubed this potato, and like the ingredients that the list that you got, you can see that the potato should have been cooked, even if it's just for 4 or 5 minutes. Can you give me a show of hands for those of you that have done that? So this potato is cooked slightly, okay, thank you so much. It's just cooked slightly al dente, as if though you are cooking pasta, okay? So I want you to take 1 minute just to ensure that you have the ingredients for this section of the meal, because you're only cooking 2 things. You're cooking the potato curry, and we are cooking the starter, which is zucchini tempura fritters or chili bites, okay? So once again, I'm gonna go through it. It's cooked potato, 1 onion chopped, spinach. I've got a little bit of chickpeas. You can also substitute the chickpeas with frozen peas, or you can just leave it out completely. And then I've got some cauliflower. You don't need to pre-cook the cauliflower, because cauliflower is just like mush when it meets up with heat. And then I'm very heavy-handed with garlic and ginger, because we all know that garlic and ginger is absolutely amazing, but ginger in particular gives this curry an amazing flavor. And then guys, this is what it's all about, a lovely spice basket. I don't expect any of you to have a basket like this, but when you visit Cape Town, you will most certainly leave Cape Town with one of these. It's very popular in the Boerkamp area, and a lot of tourists actually buy this as a keepsake. So this is how I keep my, my spices. And what you're going to need is a saucepan or medium-sized pot with about 3 or 4 tablespoons of olive oil. So here's the thing, I cook with olive oil. Generally Malays don't cook with olive oil, they just cook with vegetable oil, sunflower oil, canola oil, but I'm all about the healthy fats. I told you guys that. So you can use either coconut oil, or you could use olive oil, or any oil, as long as it's not something that's really strong, like sesame oil, for example, or mustard oil. We don't want that. So you could use olive oil, coconut oil, vegetable oil, canola oil, absolutely, just a preference. And you can already place your pot on the heat, your casserole. You can place it on a medium to high heat, and add about 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil. 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil on a high heat. And I'm going to talk you through the process. Besides the oil, I don't want you to put anything in the pot yet. I don't want you to put anything in the pot yet besides the oil. It should just be, your pot should just be heating up, because when your onions heat the pan or the pot or the casserole, it's going to sizzle. We want to hear a sizzle. You never want to put your onions into a cold, dead pan. You don't want to do that. You want your stove to be on a medium to high heat. You've added about 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil of your choice. So don't add anything yet. I'm going to take you through the process. We are first going to add onion, and then we're going to add the garlic and ginger, and we are going to braise that. Onion, garlic, and ginger. And then I've added here some green chili, but this is obviously just personal preference. I just like a tiny bit of heat to mine. This is quite, this is not like a jalapeno or a bird's eye chili. It's very mild. This is really just for flavor. So it's completely up to you. So remember, you've got oil, onion, garlic, and ginger. Then what we're going to do, we are going to add spices to your onion and garlic mixture. We are going to mix spices individually to form a masala. What is a masala? A masala is really just a word for a mixture or combination of spices. And this particular curry does have a unique set of spices that makes up that masala. We are then going to add the spices to the onion and garlic mix, and then we're going to add cauliflower, chickpeas, potato, and spinach, and that's it. And we are also going to add a little bit of coconut milk at the end to bind, and obviously also healthy fat, just to make everything just a little bit healthier. And then we're going to add the coconut oil at the end. Once again, a little bit of oil, onion, garlic and ginger, spice mix. Then we're going to add everything else, the potato, the spinach, the chickpea, the cauliflower, and that with the coconut milk is just going to sizzle and do its thing. It's going to be happy on the stovetop. It's going to cook on a very low heat while we make our starter, which is the zucchini chili bites or the zucchini fritters. Okay, so good luck. Don't burn down the kitchen. You will be fine. I'm going to hold your hand all the way, and you're going to end up with an amazing meal. So I'm going to start now, and I am also going to change the camera view, guys. I'm going to change the camera view so that you can see what is happening here. You can see what is happening here. I'm just going to position that on there. Guys, so to start off with, like I said, your onion is going to go in. Can you hear that? That's the sizzle that I'm looking for. That's the sizzle that I'm looking for. So I've got my onion into my pan. And then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic and ginger. You're going to add your garlic and ginger. And then, guys, simply stir that around. Simply stir that around. And for me, I love adding a little bit of whole cumin. This is optional. This is completely optional. You don't have to add it. So this is just going to sizzle. I'm going to turn that down just slightly less than medium whilst we mix our spices. Slightly less than medium whilst we mix our spices. So the first spice that's going in will be our ground cumin. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. So I've got 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. I want you to take a little plate. I want you to take a little plate, and you're going to mix your spices. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. And then we want 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. A heaping teaspoon of ground coriander. Remember, we are mixing a masala. We are mixing a masala. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, and then the star of the show would be the turmeric. The star of the show would be the turmeric. The turmeric, you can put 1 teaspoon of turmeric, but a heaping teaspoon, quite a big powder, a half a teaspoon of chili powder or cayenne pepper. I'm going to run through it again. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, quite a heaping teaspoon of turmeric. I spoke about the health benefits of spices before. If you wanted to, you could increase that. It's completely up to you. And then a little bit of salt. So I'm not heavy-handed with salt, guys. So I normally take about a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to add it to that. So I'm going to add slightly, just about a half a teaspoon of salt. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to mix that through. I'm going to mix that through. So I have chili powder or cayenne pepper. I've got salt to taste. I've got turmeric. I've got ground cumin. I've got ground coriander. And I'm simply going to add that to the spice mixture. I'm going to stir that around. And you can see that this is actually going to color. This is what it looks like. I wish you could smell that. Once again, I'm going to run you through it, about 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil, any oil of your choice. Remember, try and use a healthy fat. So coconut oil is brilliant, olive oil is brilliant, even canola is good for you. And then 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of ginger. I'm always heavy-handed with that. And then the masala mix, as you have the list, you've got the ingredient list. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to put in my cauliflower, guys. Cauliflower. Remember, the cauliflower is not cooked. So I'm going to take the cauliflower and I'm going to stir that around. This is what it looks like. Cauliflower. The cauliflower, guys, any of you that's cooking along, if you need me to stop or just explain, if you can just show me your hand so that I can. So this is what it looks like. The next thing that's going in is either chickpeas or frozen peas. Chickpeas or frozen peas. You can just stir that around. And you just mix the masala, you mix the curry base through with that. The next thing that's going in, potato. The next thing that's going in is your potato. And remember, the potato is partially cooked. And the reason why I only cook it partially is because I don't want it to become mush. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to add spinach. Chopped spinach. I am going to add the chopped spinach. And you can see that this mixture needs just a little bit of water, about a half a cup of water, and this is going to simmer on its own. I'm going to run you through that again, and it'll also give you a chance to catch up. I'm going to run you through it again. So I've got about 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil. We then added the medium onion finely chopped. 1 teaspoon of chopped or grated garlic, 1 teaspoon of chopped or grated ginger, and then we added our masala mix. I'm going to run through the masala again, the mixture of spices that we use. 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, quite a heaping teaspoon of turmeric, quite a heaping teaspoon of turmeric, and a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper or chili powder. So you can totally control the heat factor here. If you're a person, if you love heat, of course you can increase that. And I've only got about a half a teaspoon or a level teaspoon of salt. I'm not big on salt myself, but if you love salt, you can add a little bit more if you feel. And then I just added in the cauliflower first because it's uncooked. And then I've added in my chickpeas. My chickpeas are straight out of a can. No shame or harm in that, guys. But of course, you can cook chickpeas in advance. Or you can also just use frozen peas straight from a bag. No problem. You can also just leave it out. And then I've added my cooked potato. I've added my spinach. And last but not least, I'm going to add coconut milk. I'm actually going to add just a little bit more. I'm just going to add some more coconut milk, guys. And this is what it looks like. Okay. This is your basic chickpea chickpea, cauliflower, potato, and spinach curry. All this needs is a little bit of love. It's just going to simmer gently. Don't ever turn your back on the stove. Just watch it in the peripheral of your eye whilst we make the second dish, which is going to be our starter, zucchini fritters. And what I want you guys to do, ladies, can you please just take 2 minutes or a minute to yourself? If you can just wipe your counter, put away all the little bits and pieces of the curry, and put away all the little bits and pieces of the curry whilst you allow, this is just going to simmer on a low to medium heat. And then when your cauliflower is cooked, this will actually be cooked. So it needs about 5 to 6 minutes only. You can see I'm not doing anything to it. Here we go. That is what it should look like. I'm going to give it a little toss or a little stir. And the only thing this dish needs is a little bit of cilantro when we are done with it. But for now, we are done with that. So please clean up your counter. And then if you can just give yourself a little bit of workspace so that we can do the zucchini fritter. Okay? So take a minute to yourself while I'll, yeah.
Are you using a wok?
It's not a wok, it is a casserole or pan, but you can totally use anything that you want to. I just feel this is, I like a big surface area so people can see what's in my dish, but you could just use your regular rice dish or any pot that you normally like, or even a Dutch oven. You can use just about anything. I like the big surface area because you can actually see the food for presentation. You can actually see the food better.
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, so I am busy cleaning up my counter and preparing for the next part. So you can start unpacking the ingredients for your fritter. You can use the Dutch oven. Julie, Dutch oven is brilliant. Obviously it has a lid as well, but I'm not going to close this today. I really want you to see how that sizzles. Please take out the ingredients for the second dish, which is actually a zucchini fritter. I'm going to run through that in just a second. I'm also going to clean up my counter. So I'm going to run you through the ingredients. This is the part where you need the chickpea flour. This is the part where you need the chickpea flour, a little bit of baking powder, some salt, your spices once again, a little bit of onion chopped, some spinach, garlic and ginger. You need zucchini as well. And then you also need 1 egg, and you need just water, drinking water from the tap, from a bottle, from your fridge, from the kettle, a little bit of water, and you might need about a half to 3/4 cup of water. So if you guys can all just gather that ingredients and then give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Let me just. I'm going to pack out my ingredients so that you can actually see what's happening. I'm going to change the camera view so that you can see that. Guys, this is the next bit. You can see I've got zucchini here. I've got zucchini. I've got chickpea flour and a little bit of all-purpose flour. I've got some salt and I've got baking powder in here, but I'm going to run you through everything. I just need you to get all your ingredients on the counter. And here I've got my trusted little egg. I've got, you could also leave out the egg. The egg just makes this fluffier, but if you are vegan, just leave it out. I've got some chopped spinach once again. I've got some onion that I've chopped, and once again, heavy-handed with the garlic and ginger. But you need a little bowl like this in which to mix. You need a little bowl like this in which to actually mix your batter in, okay? And in the meantime, on the stove, my cauliflower and potato curry is just boiling away slowly but surely. So we are going to start with 1 cup of chickpea flour, 1 cup of chickpea flour in a bowl, 1 cup of chickpea flour in a bowl, and then I've got about a half a teaspoon of salt, about a half a teaspoon of salt, and then I've got a level teaspoon of baking powder, a level teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to start again. I've got chickpea flour, half a cup of all-purpose flour, a little bit of salt, the baking powder, and this is going to form the base of your recipe. Chickpea flour, according to same as the ingredient list that you have, chickpea flour, half a cup of all-purpose flour, a little bit of salt, and a baking powder. The next thing that's going in is spinach. I'm just going to add spinach to it. Okay, I'm going to add chopped spinach to it. I'm then going to add onion. I'm going to add onion. I'm also going to add garlic and ginger. So this is so easy. It's like making pancake batter, guys. It's really like making pancake batter. The most work you're going to do is to crack the egg. That's going to go in there. Is going to actually crack the egg. That's going to go in there. So then, once again, I've got my spice basket, but let me first start with this again. I'm first going to start with this again. We've got chickpea flour, a little bit of all-purpose flour, a little bit of salt for flavor, some baking powder to make it nice and fluffy, and then the egg. For those of us that are vegan and that don't eat egg, you could also just leave that out. But the egg, what the egg does, it makes this nice and fluffy, like a pancake batter almost. And then you've also got your zucchini. What I have done is I have steamed my zucchini for about a minute, but that is completely optional. You don't need to do that. I love to have a little bit of bite on my zucchini. To substitute the zucchini with bell pepper. You could use an onion ring to dip it into this chili bite or the fritter mixture. You could use you could use eggplant, so many things. Chickpea flour is really the basis of this dish. So if I were to use all-purpose flour only, it wouldn't be a Malay fritter. The chickpea flour is really crucial in this recipe. And honestly, I haven't made it without chickpea flour yet. So your base will always be chickpea flour, a little bit of all-purpose flour, some salt, some baking powder, and into that I've added onion, and I've added spinach, I've added the egg, 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of ginger. And then I've got my zucchini fingers. And remember, you don't have to use zucchini. I've just cut it like this. I've just cut this. Yes, chickpea flour totally is, because this chili bite is something, somebody's just asked if chickpea flour is part of the Cape Malay culture. So yes, it is. Chili bites are something that we eat. We have Ramadan, with the month of Ramadan, which is a holy month for us, where we fast for 30 days, and chickpea flour, chili bites that we are preparing now, the fritters, is something that we eat on a daily basis, literally on a daily basis during the month of Ramadan. And yes, it is gluten-free. It's extremely healthy for you. You could also leave out the all-purpose flour if you wanted to. And sometimes when I don't have all-purpose flour, I only cook it with chickpea flour. Some of my guests are gluten intolerant. I actually absolutely prefer doing it with chickpea flour only. Guys, and now what we're going to do, we're going to add some spices to it again, because this would not be a Cape Malay savory if we don't add spices. I've got 1 teaspoon of turmeric, guys, a level teaspoon of turmeric powder, a level teaspoon of turmeric powder. Remember, the only spice that's in there before that was salt. Salt, I don't even know if it qualifies as a spice. It's just really not a spice, but there's salt in there. A level teaspoon of turmeric powder, a level teaspoon of ground cumin, a level teaspoon of ground cumin, and then a level teaspoon of ground coriander, a level teaspoon of ground coriander, and then once again, I've got just the tiniest pinch of chili powder or cayenne pepper. If ever you in the market to buy yourself chili powder, or try and buy something called Kashmiri chili powder. I've seen it overseas. It's absolutely amazing. Why I like it is because Kashmiri chili powder is the only one that gives more flavor than it does heat. And it really just resonates with my flavor palette in terms of Kashmiri. This is the brand, yeah. Kashmiri chili powder is absolutely amazing. It's more about flavor and less about heat. Remember, I said to you, Cape Malay cooking is more about flavor and less about heat. So that's the absolute perfect one to actually use. Then guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to stir this through. So the mixture looks quite dry. And remember, I said to you that you need about a half a cup of water. So we're not going to use all of the water all at once. You are looking, and the best way to describe this to you is for a waffle or pancake batter mixture consistency. Something that you can take the zucchini fingers or your eggplant or your onion rings or or bell pepper, whatever you choose to dip into your fritter. Something like it is exactly like chili powder or cayenne pepper, but it's exactly cayenne pepper. Chili powder, the Kashmiri is chili powder is exactly like cayenne pepper, but it's not as hot and fiery. It's more mild to medium. It's very flavorful and it gives your food an amazing color as well. And we all know it's important that the food looks good. So guys, once again, I want to show you how dry this consistency is. The only liquid that's in here, you can see it's quite stodgy. The only liquid that's in here, guys, is actually the egg. And I'm going to just take a tablespoon at a time water. I'm using a tablespoon because I'm looking for a pancake or a waffle consistency batter. A pancake or a waffle consistency batter. I'm just simply going to stir that around. So I'm using, that was about a half a cup of water. And you can see I've stirred and mixed that through. It actually needs just a little bit more water. We actually need just a little bit more water. And you are simply going to stir that through. Simply going to stir that through. Again, just a little bit of water. You keep mixing. This is what I'm looking for. Guys, can you see that? You can see it can drop off my spoon. And the best way, like I said, is like a pancake or a waffle mixture. This is what I want. So I'm going to run through this again. But before I run through that again, guys, remember I said not to take your eye off the stove. So just check up on your chickpea and cauliflower curry. It should be done. I am simply going to give that a stir. This is what mine looks like.
I wonder if we have lost Firuza. Is Pam, are you there? Firuza seems to have gone a little bit dark. I know she was checking on her chili, her cauliflower dish. Let me see if I can get her back on. I think she has got lost. Maybe Boerkapp has run out of electricity. I hope not. Let me just see if I can get her back on. Did I just see her come back on? Are you back on, Firuza?
turn her, unmute herself.
And show her screen.
I can see her screen.
Yeah, it's on.
Yes, you're on now. You're back
Here we
live.
go. Here we go. So this is the chickpea curry. It's done. I've tasted my cauliflower. You can see I'm going to draw a line through it like that. That is the consistency of it. You should be able to do that. This is actually done. And now, guys, what I want you to do, I'm going to change back, and you can see I've got my cooker on. I need you to put a little pan on the stove with some vegetable or canola oil. And this is to actually fry your fritters. This is to actually fry your fritters. You can see my curry is here at the back. It's done. Once again, I'm going to show you that's what my curry looks like. It cooks really quickly. Remember, it's a vegetarian curry. And in the interim, I want you to put a little pan. I've got a little saucepan. You can see that it's a tiny one. It's got a little bit of oil, about 2 centimeters or 1 inch worth of oil. And that is not olive oil. It's not coconut oil, because we are going to fry these zucchinis. And if that were to be olive oil, it would just smoke up the kitchen. So just vegetable oil or canola oil. This is on the heat. And all we are going to do now, you can see that. All we are going to do now, you can see this is my batter. I'm going to take my zucchini fritter. I'm going to put it in there. There's no other way to do this, guys. It's messy. So wash your hands before you do this. I'm going to take this, dip it in that batter, and I'm simply going to fry that. So we will give that, and I've put one into the pan because I want to see when the heat comes up, then I know I'm ready to put the others. But remember, this is what the batter should look like. This is what the batter should look like. These are my zucchini fries or zucchini fingers. These are my zucchini fingers, and I'm simply just going to dip them into oil. So please put your little pan on. I've put a little bit in there. You can also just take a dollop of the batter and throw it in. When it floats up to the surface, you will know that it's hot and ready. So I'm going to quickly run you through the ingredients again for the fritter mixture. It's 1 cup of chickpea flour, a 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. The all-purpose flour you can leave out. I've got a little bit of salt, a little bit of baking powder, and then we mix that through. So remember, that forms the basis of your dish. Chickpea flour, all-purpose flour, and a little bit of salt and baking powder. To that, you're going to add finely chopped onion. You're also going to add some spinach. Chop the spinach. You could use baby spinach. You could also use kale if you wanted to, but it does need that greenery. Some people have even added some lettuce leaves, which I've never done, but I do know of people that do that. I prefer the spinach or the kale. And then a teaspoon of garlic, a teaspoon of ginger, and then 1 egg. Remember, I said you could leave out the egg. You could leave out the egg if you wanted to, but the egg gives it that lovely pancakey, battery kind of texture to it. So you can see my oil is starting to bubble. And the last step that we did with the batter is I mixed everything through. I added the same flavor combination that we used in the chickpea and potato curry, the same amount of spice. So it's a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of ground cumin, a teaspoon of ground coriander, and then a little bit of chili powder, Kashmiri chili powder or cayenne pepper. And of course, you can pump up the heat if you want to. And then I simply mixed everything through with a little bit of regular water from the kettle, from drinking water, from the fridge, just a little bit of water until you have this thick consistency. And now what I'm doing, I am simply dipping this. You can see my oil is nice and hot. I'm using my fingers and I'm putting it in there. This is exactly how my mom and my granny and my grandmother made this. So I am simply dipping this in here. I'm simply dipping that in there. I'm only going to fry a few. I'm simply only going to fry a few. And this is what we want on a nice medium heat. You want a little bit of bite on the inside. You want a little bit of bite on the inside, guys. So this is what I want. I'm just gonna fry a few. And we are on the home run, guys. Your chickpea curry should be done. In actual fact, I'm going to prepare to plate a dish to show you guys. Whilst this is cooking, you're not going to touch it. You're just going to leave it as it is here. I'm going to plate my chickpea curry with a little bit of brown basmati rice that I've cooked before. If you don't want rice, of course, you can make a flat bread with it. But I love brown basmati rice. So I'm going to serve mine with that. And yes, the proof is in the pudding. I wish you guys could smell this. Absolutely delicious. I'm just gonna get a little tongue. Or just a little, guys, can you see this? I'm simply just gonna take this and I'm going to, and Pamela is sitting here smiling because she knows she's gonna be the recipient of all these lovely snacks. I'm so glad that she's here, that she can actually taste it. Guys, and what you want is just a little golden brown, lovely deliciousness on your fritters. And guess what? They don't have to be perfect. They shouldn't be perfect in actual fact because they're homemade. I love it when they've got all these little squiggly bits to them, because they're nice and crunchy. That's what I've got. And I am ready to plate. So, like I said, I've got some rice. I am ready to plate. I also want to plate my zucchini fritters at the same time. So I've got a little plate in which I'm going to put my zucchini fritters. I'm almost done. You can see it's nice and golden. So you can totally serve your chickpea curry on its own. Or you can serve it with a roti or a flatbread or a naan bread, a garlic naan bread, some plain white basmati rice, but I always opt for the healthier option. So I've got this, guys, and my chickpea fritters are done. You can see I'm simply just leaving them like that. These are absolutely delicious. You can serve this on its own, or you can serve it with a little bit of chutney, which is what we are going to do. This is what I want. These are yummy. We have just a few minutes left. We've got 5 minutes left. I'm mindful of that. Don't forget to switch off your stove. And now, guys, I'm going to turn your attention here. As like I said, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. I've got my zucchini fritters here, guys. Here is my lovely zucchini fritters. Here are my lovely zucchini fritters. And what I'm going to do, I've got a plate and I've got some brown basmati rice. I've simply, you can see on my hand, I'm simply just going to decant it and flip it like that and hope it cooperates, because sometimes it doesn't. And then I am going to take my lovely chickpea, cauliflower, potato, and spinach curry, and I'm simply going to add that on top. I'm actually plating this for Pamela. She's sitting here with a big smile on her face. And then last but not least, guys, besides the fact that this makes it look pretty, cilantro, all the flavor in the world. And this is our chickpea, cauliflower, potato, and spinach curry. Yay! I have 4 minutes to spare before we're on the hour. And here are my lovely little fritters. I'm simply going to put my little fritters around the plate. And I think Pamela might want to take a photo of that. Guys, this is our... Here we go.
In for a photo. With you, Verisa.
Oh, Pamela's just taking a photo of that. Thank you, guys. So I'm just going to change the camera view. I'm back. I
Wow.
hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So this is the dish. This is the dish. You can see I've got the little chili bites of the fritters on the side. And this is my chickpea and cauliflower curry.
Absolutely.
Yes, I would like to serve that with a little bit of chutney. I will just get some chutney. Give me 2 seconds. It's here. So got a little bit of chutney on the side. Chutney, we love condiments, we love chutneys, we love achars. So I'm simply going to leave that on the side. So you can totally take this and you can just take the chutney. Oh my word, let me just, I need to, yeah, here we go. Take that, dip it in there. Absolutely delicious. Pamela.
I'm coming in.
Pamela's coming in.
Immediately. Quite a big part of it. Yay!
Absolutely delicious. Are you guys are going to stay around for my little presentation on South Africa, and Pam, jump in with conversation because we're going to just chat a little bit about South Africa. But thank you so very much. Keep eating, everybody.
So here's my dish. Here's my dish.
Oh, wonderful. Let's have a look.
Nice.
Oh, this is delicious. Amazing. I love the color of that curry. It looks absolutely perfect. Well done. Very well done.
Anyone else?
Does anybody else want to show their dish? Don't be shy. Here's another one. Here's another one. I see her moving.
This is what I made.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Fabulous. That looks absolutely delicious. I hope it tastes well.
I'm sure it does. Okay, I was going to share my screen with everybody, and Firuza and Pam, you know, I'm going to be talking about Cape Town here and some Africa. So please jump in and join me and share your beautiful country. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to take you, I know we're kind of running out of time, so I'm going to take you on a quick journey through Africa. We have just been with Firuza and Pam down in the bottom southwest corner in Cape Town. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about Cape Town, Victoria Falls, and Kruger National Park. And this is a little bit about the journey that Julie and her husband are taking next year. So if you're interested, the journey is going to be in November 2022, and it's about 10 days in Southern Africa. So they are going to be in Cape Town, and this is where Pam and Firuza live, you guys. I mean, how gorgeous is this, right? Near Table Mountain. Firuza, where she lives in the Boer Cup region, has views of Signal Hill, Lion's Head, and Table Mountain. So this is Cape Town in South Africa. And we're going to be staying at Cape Cadogan Boutique Hotel, which is just around the corner from the Boer Cup region, Firuza. So we're going to spend 4 nights there.
Yes, I know that it's in Kloof Street, isn't it?
Correct, yes.
Absolutely amazing. Really, it's a lovely little boutique hotel. Absolutely stunning. It's walking distance from our home.
Good, because we'll be walking over for a cooking dining experience with you.
And Julie, you're going to need that after you've been to my house, because you'll be leaving here with a belly so full, you're going to need to walk.
I can't wait.
So one of the days we're actually going to go down on the peninsula tour with Pam. We're going to probably go down the Atlantic Ocean side and come up the Indian Ocean side. It's a great opportunity to experience the peninsula tour and get to meet the local people and go to little quaint fishing villages all the way down to the Cape Point area of Cape Town, see the gorgeous penguins. We're also going to be doing a walking tour, which is Pam's absolute favorite thing. And you get to eat your way through Cape Town. So you get to meet the local people, you get to experience the cultures, plus you get to taste your way around Cape Town. So it's one of my favorite experiences. I absolutely love it. We are also going to be having dinner and a cooking class with Firuza. So I'm very excited about that. We're then going to be going to the Constantia winelands for a half day of touring and tasting the wine in Constantia. Pam, do you want to quickly chat about Constantia and how old it is and the wine? I mean, some of the South African wine is going from the 1600s. So it's very, very old. I don't know why they call it New World wines, because it's very old. Do you want to chat about that?
Oh, I love you, Sandy. When I have the British and the French, they're like, oh, you're so New World. And to Americans, late 1600s is very old. So I'm much happier having the Americans on tour. This Constantia region dates back to the late 1600s. It was one of the early Dutch governors' farm. He was given the farm because for the first time, the Cape started making money under his governorship. And so they said to him, please choose anywhere in the country where you would like a farm. And he wasn't very humble. He took the whole of the Constantia Valley. So that started it all. But what's really special about Constantia is it's got the historical homestead, but also its proximity to the sea and the cooler breezes makes it very, very, very famous for Sauvignon Blanc. But back then we didn't have any Sauvignon Blanc. We only really knew about sweet dessert wines. That was the big fashionable thing of the time. And in this area, they made such a famous sweet wine that it was drunk by Napoleon Bonaparte. There is even a conspiracy theory that he might have been poisoned because when he was in exile, the only thing he had every day was his glass of the Constantia wine. Apparently, Queen Victoria used to drink this wine by the mugload. It's written about by Charles Dickens. And so whatever happens, we're going to go and taste that sweet dessert wine while we're there. And don't tell me, oh, I don't do sweet wines. Keep an open mind because it's perfectly balanced between sweet and acidity. So this is not just about wine. It's one of the most beautiful little valleys in the country. It's a combination of history, scenery, having some delicious wine, and just being in a very beautiful little region. And that's the same combo that keeps repeating in South Africa, because everywhere you look, it's either mountain, sea, or grapevines in my region. So we're in for a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Pam is, as I said, one of the experts on food and wine in the Cape Town region. So she is going to be guiding you whilst you're in Cape Town. After doing a morning of Constantia winelands and then a super duper delicious lunch somewhere in Constantia, you're going to spend a few hours exploring Kirstenbosch Botanical Gardens, which happens to be one of the most exquisite botanical gardens in the world. So you'll be seeing a lot of the fynbos or the flora from the area with those dramatic mountains, the backdrop of Table Mountain behind you. And then we're going to give you some time off just to relax a little bit before having a cooking class with Firuza in her beautiful home in the Boer Cup, where she is right now. So we're excited to have you go and spend time with Firuza and Pam in Firuza's house. Okay, then we go off to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, which is my home country. And you'll spend 2 nights in Victoria Falls at Old Drift Lodge, which is set right on the Zambezi River. Absolutely gorgeous, tented safari camp, but with only about 10, 15 minutes from the falls. You can do sunset cruises there. We're going to be exploring the Victoria Falls, which is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. So it's David Livingstone's. Absolutely gorgeous. I love going to the falls. You're going to be spending time with the elephants on an elephant art safari. So watching these gorgeous creatures play in the mud and have fun whilst you actually draw them, or just sit and stare at them, which is probably what I would do. And then we are going off to Ingala Safari Lodge, which is in the Timbavati Game Reserve of Kruger National Park, which is back in Pam and Firuza's South Africa, and it is home to the Big Five. So you'll be spending 3 nights at Ingala Safari Lodge, and Julie has a very special offer for you.
Yes, for those that will be coming along on our journey, our safari and adventure, we are giving a special item away that will be a raffle for all those that sign up before May 31st, 2021. You will be entered into a drawing that will take place June 1st for all those that signed up by May 31st to win a night in this treehouse experience. It has a value of $750. So you get to go one evening while we're there at the Nagali Safari Lodge and have your own private special experience.
Yeah, I mean, I've stayed in a treehouse and it's open to the stars, but it's very safe and it goes up 3 levels. So you have 1 level for your bathroom and 1 level for your sleeping area, and then the top area for the sitting area. Or you could ask them to put the bed on the top area as well. So you'll have 3 days of exploring Ingala Safari Lodge, finding spores, going trekking, walking safaris, and of course, we all want to find our elephants and lions and spend time with them. So I'm really excited about this experience. It is a trip of a lifetime for a lot of people. And I realize that we're all dreaming right now, but it's time to start booking trips. And we're already starting to book for 2022 to Africa. So I really hope that you'll join Julie on this amazing experience.
Who's ready to come to Africa? I know I am. I even put my special leopard jacket on today. Do we have a question? I see a hand raised. You can unmute yourself. Is there a question? This is the itinerary.
Yes. Will you, excuse me, will you send a brochure or an email in regards to this trip, the cost and the itinerary, et cetera?
Yes, we're actually going to go through that right now here quickly, because we are running over time, and I do apologize for that, but we had a fabulous cooking show and we didn't want to stop that. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Firuza. But right now I'll give you a recap of what Sandy just had gone through with this itinerary. And then we're also going to post in the chat box a link, and I will email you the link as well as the recording to everybody after this event within a day or two here. So you will get that as well. But we're going to recap it right now. So it will start actually October 31st, of which we actually would then arrive on November 1st in Cape Town. And we would be in Cape Town 4 nights at that boutique, wonderful B&B. And then we will go and we will venture on doing the Cape Peninsula tour, the Cape Town City Eats, which is a walking tour, the gardens, the winelands, and then the wonderful cooking class and dinner, which is in walking distance of the B&B. And then we will move along to Victoria Falls from November 5th to the 7th and do the touring of the actual falls itself, the elephant art safari and lunch. And then there's also an opportunity to do a sunset river cruise there, which will be amazing. And then we'll be November 7th to the 10th at Nagali Safari Lodge. And we will do the day trips. You can do either sunrise or sunset for your outings.
Or both.
Or both, yep. If you want to see what they're doing at both times of the day, that's quite interesting. And we'll have the opportunity to see the big five, which are the lion, the leopard, the rhinoceros, and the rhinoceros, excuse me, elephant, and the Cape buffalo. That would be your big five. And then we will have the lucky experience for the treehouse experience for whoever wins the raffle on June 1st, if you sign up by May 31st. And then on November 10th, we will depart back to the USA, and you will actually get home on November 11th. And so here is the pricing. This is for double occupancy. So if you're two people that would be occupying a shared room, then this is the price per person. And we also have pricing for singles as well. And it's a 30% deposit. And again, if you get in before May 31st, you have the opportunity to be entered into the raffle June 1st. And then final payment is August 2nd, of which you can do payment plans throughout that time period, or you can pay it all up front if you want to, or pay it in two payments. So we can talk about that as well. And then these are the land costs. And again, this is for two people. The domestic and international airfare costs are not included in this pricing, and they would be booked separately. And I can help you with that. Also travel insurance, I can help you with that. And we can get more into the details. The link that I have that will get posted here in the chat, Amy, if you would go ahead and post that in the chat, gives you everything that you're seeing here and a little bit more. And then I even have a more detailed itinerary from there. So let's move along, and we will go ahead. And this is the overview of everything that we just talked about. Again, you're talking about luxury accommodations, private guided tours and experiences, private transfers, VIP meet and greet services. So it's really a trip of a lifetime. You go to South Africa or Africa in general, and you come back completely changed. Now we're going to do a giveaway for Firuza's wonderful cookbook.
I just want to add for any of you, and Pam can even talk about this, for any of you that have been to Africa, and for those of you that are thinking of going to Africa, it really is a trip of a lifetime. And, you know, people say, I want to go on a trip to Africa on a trip of a lifetime. Some people actually do mean only going once. Some people mean going 3 or 4 or 5 times. It changes your life. Meeting the people of Africa, being out in the middle of nowhere, seeing lions and elephants and giraffes and buffalo, etc. Even the Cape penguins, having a special experience where you with Firuza in her home cooking a Cape Malay dish. It really is something very, very special, and I promise you it will change your life.
I can't wait. I wish it was this year, but I'm excited that it's in 2022, because there's plenty of time to make sure everything's in place and just perfect. So I'm super excited. So I have everybody's name in a hat here. So I'm going to draw one lucky winner here today. Got my... And our lucky winner is Mary Jane Mulligan, and she's on
she's well done.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. That is just so unusual for me to win anything, but thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you so
excited you're here and you're still on. That's exciting to have you live with us and on camera.
Well, hi, and thank you. Thank you. That is really, what a surprise. I wasn't expecting anything like that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll follow up with you, Mary Jane. I'll send you an email and we can get your mailing address, and then I'll have it actually sent, because she sells them on Amazon. So I'll have it actually shipped directly to you from Amazon.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yep.
Well, I want you to know it will be put to good use, if not only by me. My daughter is a real foodie person. And I told her that I was doing this. She was unable to do this today, but she really was very excited about the recipes that I shared with her. And so I just, I'm very excited that, we will definitely be putting the book to good use.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Julie, so for Mary and your daughter, so the book's quite unique in that I've recorded about 15 videos just showcasing the signature dishes and the more intricate dishes on how to do it. So I understand that you've got the recipe, and it's not always easy just to follow a recipe. So it's literally like cooking with me online. So when you click on a QR code on a particular recipe, it'll take you to my website, where I will cook the dish from start to finish. So you've got that added value on that as well. The book also comes in an ebook as well as a hard copy. So you can choose whichever one you want. Thank you,
Very good.
everybody.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very,
Fabulous.
very much.
Now, Mary Jane, you just need to come with us so you can actually go cook live with her.
Well, that would be a real treat. But I'd have to do some thinking about that still. I haven't made a final decision yet,
Sounds
even
good.
though it certainly would be a lifetime, experience.
Sounds good. Perfect.
Well,
So
I just
thank
want to
you.
say thank you to Pam and Firuza for spending so much time with us today and sharing all about Cape Town and the beauty of the Cape Malay cuisine. I'm so grateful to you. It's evening time. It's
Yeah.
6 o'clock. It's 7:15 there in the
Yeah.
evening. So
Yeah.
thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you.
Thank you
It's
very
an
much for your
absolute
time.
pleasure.
It was a
Thank you
wonderful
for having us.
experience. And thank you,
Thanks for having
everybody,
us.
for
Thank you.
joining us today and staying on after the fact. Sorry, we ran over time, but I think it was well worth it. It was a wonderful experience, and would love for any and all of you to come, but it is limited to only 10 spaces. It's going to be a small group of 12 people total, including my husband and I. And again, the dates are October 31st to November 11th, and we're looking forward to it. I will go ahead and send out an email with the recording along with the link to review the itinerary and sign up if you'd like to. And we're super excited. We're going to be doing a show once a month. And next month, we are actually going to Costa Rica, and that will be April 14th. So if you're able to join us for that, that will be exciting as well. And we're doing another live experience in Costa Rica with one of my travel partners. So I'm excited about that. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, and hope to see you on future events. And thank you to Hills of Africa and their amazing team, and Firuza with Taste of Malay, and also Pam with
Fusion.
of course. Sorry, I went blank there for a second. So thank you all. Had a wonderful show. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done.